welcome from Japan. It's a glorious day here. It's sunny and hot. We're still in the rainy season at the moment, but it's about to go into full summer and it's only going to get hotter and more humid. This is my accommodation behind me. I live in a mansion. Okay, mansion is what Japanese people call a studio flat, but it's still good. Come and have a look. This is my accommodation behind me. I've been living here, well, since coming to Japan really. When I first moved in, there was nothing. There was only one piece of furniture. There was no bed, there was no table, there was no washing machine, there was no fridge, freezer, nothing. I couldn't even cook. But let's go and have a look now. So this is my little entrance hall. You passed it when we first come in. It's where I keep my recycling. As you can see, there's a mountain of it. I'll explain the recycling in more detail, but because I've had a bit of furniture lately, I've got a lot of cardboard that I've got to recycle. I'm slowly getting my head around the recycling. The cardboard needs to go out next Wednesday, I think. The certain days of the week. These bins, I have got one for like packaging, then I've got the next ones for bottles and cans, then it's my food waste, and then it's my burnable. This bag down here is non-burnable. There's so much to the recycling. It's good in one respect, in another respect, as you can see, it takes up a lot of space. Yeah, I've got two storage cupboards, one above which I don't think I've got anything in there yet, and the one below where I keep iron and shoe polish, that kind of stuff in. Here you can see I have got a lot of junk post. Junk post in Japan is crazy. You think it's bad in England, come to Japan. I get heaps of it each week. It's a nightmare. It just adds more to the recycling. And I use this little corner here for drying all my clothes. Most people dry their clothes outside, and in a flat like this, I'm on the top floor, I have a bar that goes out the window. It connects like to two other bars outside, and you can hang it out there. But the problem is, I seem to catch the wind here, and I've lost my underwear, or almost lost my underwear a couple of times. Actually, that's probably not a bad thing. So this is a recycling book. It tells you exactly what days to put the recycling out on and what goes where. If you get accommodation in Japan, you should get one of these in your accommodation. If not, I think you can pick one up from your local ward. I'm quite lucky, I live in Yokosuka, and because it's Americanized, it also comes in English, but not all of them come in English, so be warned. So this is my little kitchen, and it's a little galley style kitchen, which is quite common in studio flats in Japan, or at least Tokyo. I have had some friends come round though and say that it's bigger than theirs. So ladies. Okay, that was a bit creepy. Let's move on. This side we have my washing machine, fridge, freezer, microwave and rice cooker. The opposite side I've got where I do my washing up. and where I do my cooking. Yes, this is where you cook. My cooker is a single burner and I use my microwave. I'm English, so obviously I have a toaster as well. Can't do without the toaster. This is quite common in this kind of accommodation. Having a cooker takes up too much space. Plus, the food that Japanese people cook, they don't really use cookers that often. So you'll find like cookers that you find in England in larger accommodations, houses and larger flats. So they do use them. It's just that because of space, this is quite common. At first I found it really difficult cooking like this, but I'm getting used to it now. So it's no problem. One thing I cannot get used to is in the bathroom there is no sink. So I have to come here to wash my hands. All my kind of like brushing my teeth, shaving equipment is all here as well, and I hate it. Actually, I don't like it. I don't like having to wash my hands here. It kind of freaks me out. But I have to get used to it. I've got plenty of storage space. So I've got 2 cupboards up there, and I've got 3 cupboards below. It's plenty for me, and they're all brand new units, which is good. Also notice that there's no place to prep food. For the first few weeks I was actually using the top of my washing machine as a kind of work surface, which is a nightmare. This is a very common problem in these kind of accommodations in Tokyo. I did eventually buy one of these. It's a little portable like work kind of top, I guess. I use it for cutting my onions and whatever, food prep. I got this from a shop called Hitori, which is like, I guess, a Japanese equivalent of IKEA. This is the thermostat that controls the hot water. So if I want, I can choose to put the temperature up or down, which is pretty cool. And it talks to you. So, what are you doing tomorrow? We're not. So from the kitchen, let's have a look at my toilet and shower. Turn the lights on. Notice the switches are left and right. In the UK, they're up and down. Have a look inside. This is my shower. It's big, it's brand new, it's nice, sparkling, clean. I love it. It's a pretty powerful shower, really cool. This is my toilet. It's one of those advanced tech toilets. You can have a heated seat, it auto flushes, as soon as you sit down the fan comes on and it can spray disinfectant around. It's pretty cool. Here is the control box for it. For a closer look, I haven't worked out what all the buttons do yet. I wonder what this button does. Oh, crikey, right in my mouth. So next up is me bed. It's basically just a futon on a mattress. It's what I got when I first moved in. It's quite comfortable, though in saying that, the first week I had chronic backache with this because it's very soft and I'm used to a hard bed. I will be upgrading it soon, I think, because I want to get myself maybe a bigger bed that's slightly off the floor as well. And there's my bedside cabinet, which is basically just a chair. Here is a Japanese plug. Oh no, that's an English one. The Japanese plug, notice that it has 2 prongs instead of an English one, which have 3. If I'm honest, I prefer the English ones. They are just, well, they just fit more snug and secure. Japanese plugs tend to be a little bit looser and wobble, but no problem. The ones that I've seen so far, the plugs are normally above each other. In England, they're normally side by side, so that's quite interesting. And when I came, I had big problems. I had to use converters to convert my English plugs. I'll just move hands. And then I couldn't fit them in. It just wouldn't go. It was just a nightmare. About a week later, I discovered that you can actually turn them upside down. Clever me. This is the storage. I don't know if you can see that, it might be a bit dark, but this is my main storage for the flat. It's basically, I guess, 2 big cupboards. The top 2 I've got my suitcases in, and some junk. The middle sections where all my clothes are, my hanging clothes, and like socks and pants and bits and pieces like that. And the bottom, again, I've got just junk stored under there. It's pretty big, it goes back quite far, and it's ample space for me, I guess. So I want to talk briefly about the post in Japan. If you're getting something delivered and you're not in, you'll get one of these through the letterbox. They're very useful. They come with a little scanny thing which you can use with your mobile camera, and it'll take you to a website where you can get them re-delivered. It is a little bit tricky at first because the websites are all in Japanese. Now I get a member of staff, a Japanese member of staff at my work to help me with it, but I think I'm getting my head around it now, so I'll probably be able to do it myself. But it's very useful. This black box up here is my internet, and I've got internet for my flat. Internet in Japan, in Tokyo anyway, is a lot more expensive than England. It's more expensive per month, and the initial setup fee is probably 2 or 3 times more expensive than the UK. But what is good about internet in Japan is a lot quicker. You're looking at virtually everywhere in Japan is fibre optic. Not like the UK where they say it's fibre optic, but then the wiring from your house to the nearest exchange is probably copper. So here's the aircon. This is a must in any Japanese home, and it's kind of like the equivalent of central heating in the UK. You don't really actually have central heating in Japanese homes. You have one of these. Keep you cool, and it also can pump out heat as well if you need it. One of my co-workers said something to me that made me laugh. She said that in UK homes you're normally nice and warm indoors, and when you step outdoors that's when it gets cold. But it's reverse in Japan. You're normally nice and cool and cold indoors. When you step out of the house, that's when it gets warm. I've tried not to use this, it's a little bit expensive, but I've had to use it in the last week. As I said, we're coming to the end of the rainy season and it's getting hot as hell. It's getting hot and humid, and this is keeping me alive at the moment. At the start of the video I mentioned that the flat was empty apart from one piece of furniture, and that's this mirror. Why this was the only piece of furniture, I do not know. So that's it, that's my little video. I say little video, but they always turn into monsters, don't they? Bye from Japan. Until next time, bye. Dessert de Crunch is a very delicious crunch chocolate that sparkled the starry sky of glittering. The starry sky of glittering.